Hi guys, this is Miss Rankin. Welcome to Art Starters. What we're going to be working on today is a still life study. With this still life study, what we're going to be doing is drawing from life. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go around your house and you're going to find several objects. One of them needs to be something that has a shine to it. It can be glass. One of them needs to be organic, which means it could be a piece of fruit, a bone, a leaf or a branch. It could be a seashell like I'm using, or a feather. And the third one that you need to find has to have some type of texture. So what I'm choosing is a feather, and I've got several feathers and several different examples in here. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using a Prismacolor pencil, or any type of shading pencil, or even a number 2 pencil will work for this. And you're going to be using a tortillon. A tortillon is just a rolled piece of paper. It has no pigment itself, but it is a blender. And so you can make a tortillon yourself with a rolled piece of paper or cardboard from a cereal box or whatever you have available. So what we're going to be using with these 7 elements of art in this particular project, we're going to be using line, because we're going to be first of all drawing a contour line of our subject or our objects. Shape, we're going to be drawing the outer shapes of all of these images or all of these objects first. Texture is going to be used because we're going to show the texture of shine in these shells and also the texture in the feathers, or whatever else you have available. Form is interesting because form is where you get your volume or your shape. So we're going to appear to try to make this to be 3-dimensional by shading or shadow, and that is with the form. Value comes into this as well, because value is a light to dark gradation. So you're going to use your pencil and the side of your pencil to press down lighter and darker to pull out darker elements of your image, and then the lightest lights. And so you could also use an eraser to get your highlights at the end of this, but that is going to be example of gradation. Value, and of course space. We're creating space by the illusion of depth, and how you do that is by showing distance, so that the objects that are further away are going to appear larger or back on your plane of your paper, and those items that are closer to you are going to be on the closer bottom to you. And you're also going to do overlapping, which is when you put a form in front of another form, because this form is not transparent and you can't see through it. It gives you the illusion of depth. So those are the things that you're working within this project, and I'm just going to kind of oversee this. I'm not going to do the whole project again, but I'm going to give you highlights and get you started. So the first thing you're going to do for this is you arrange your project, or your subject. So I have my vase and I have everything already set up, and then I'm going to begin with a light sketch. Alright, and I'm showing the shape of my vessel as I go, and I'm going to put it on a table. So I'm going to kind of get this in there. I'm also going to show the examples of where these feathers come out, and this is going to be nice if this kind of goes off the page in some way. So I have this feather that is coming out, and it kind of goes out a good way. So some of the I guess tendrils, or whatever you call it, that comes off of the feather is going to break the border. And then I have another feather that is laid in front about here, and it's going to go off the page as well. And I'm just kind of mapping this in as I'm looking at it. And then last but not least, I have these 2 shells down here, and these shells were shells that I found with my father walking at Edisto Beach several years back, so I'm putting them in here. They have kind of emotional value as well. And I'm putting one in front of the other, and I'm just drawing these in lightly. And then what you would do is you're going to go back in now with your darkest areas. The darkest area, if you look at this picture, is going to be the inside of this vessel. So I'm going to begin shading that in. With the edge of my pencil, I'm going to begin shading and I'm really looking at what I'm drawing. A lot of times people have the tendency to just draw things that aren't there. So you're neither adding anything to this or taking anything away. You're drawing it exactly like it is. So don't sell yourself short by just sketching anything. You want to actually try to draw the object that is in front of you. That is the art of still life, is you are drawing the subject matter that you have picked. So you want to do your best effort to look at what you're working with. I'm going to zoom this out, oops, just a little bit so you can see a little bit better. And now I'm going to start adding the darkest areas into this. So this feather is going to be added in, and you guys go the direction of the feather. Don't color weird ways, but follow the pathway of this feather, the way that the filaments come off of it. Work with that. And then the same with your shell and other things. You're going to build this up as you go, trying to work quickly. This is not about me having a finished drawing, but it's about showing you how to build the shadow. So you're going from your darkest to light. Sometimes it helps if you squint your eyes, so that you can tell your medium tones and your light tones and your in-betweenies. And then you're going to have some highlights in here as well. Going down the edge of this vessel here. And again with the shell. Now the shell has kind of stripes, so we're just going to go this direction with the shell. And I'm just kind of looking as I go, using the edge of my pencil to shade in. And again, you want to have a nice rounded look to this. So you're going to have to use your darkest darks, your mediums, your lights, and then your highlights. So this is what you call gradation. Gradation means there are so many different shades of gray in between black and white. And so what you are looking for is to build up shadows and shapes and forms by finding the variance of these. Alright. This little shell in the front. And then I'm going to put just a little bit of shadow here. Alright, so for sake of time, I'm just going to show you. Now you're going to take your tortillon and you're going to begin in a circular motion to push this graphite or pencil around and smooth it in. You can use a circular motion with your hand. It works great to smooth it and give the illusion of volume or shape. So we're going to try to make this look like it's a rounded form. In order to do that, you've got to blend your darks and your grays together. You've got to smooth them down, because ultimately that's what our study is dealing with. We're trying to show form. Alright. And you're just smoothing it in. And if I had more time, of course I could get more in depth here with the shadow. Again, you're looking at what you're seeing. You're not making anything up. You're leaving the darks dark. You're not coloring the whole thing in, because that's not what your eye is seeing. Your eye is seeing a variant of shadow, highlight, smoothness. So we're trying to give the illusion of depth. And you know, you're think about it. You're working with a two-dimensional flat piece of paper, and you're trying to show shape and form with this. It's difficult, so you have to do it by gradually shading from dark to light so it looks like a full volume. Alright, so anyway, this is enough to get you started. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Good luck with your drawing. Remember, when you're finished with it, you could go back with an eraser if you wanted to, and you could go in and put some of these highlights in as you see them. That's the fun part when you're done. Alright, so again, this is showing value, and this is your still life study. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is Miss Rankin. Happy drawing.